list for exports, according to notice.
All right. This is February 7th, 2022. As you can see, markets are pretty much flat in the overnight. Still in Friday's range. Here we are. This is all the market profiles for all three markets that I just watched. I'm just going to put Russell a bit smaller here because I tend to just focus really on what's going on. If it's breaking the previous day's highs or lows. Other than that, you can use it for its dome to validate if it's a bit faster or if it's leading general markets down. So let's put it this way: pretty flat, like I said, pretty balanced overnight. The main areas I'm looking at on ES is 4506, and on Nasdaq, sorry, looking at 14770. I think we're gonna get some, reactions in these areas. Let's see how that goes. I actually have to just update a small little thing here with my NQ chart. Gonna double check that this is in. All right, so that level's there. Very clear. This is Sierra charts that I use. You can also have various charts like this, where you could have, different ways to see your charts. I just like to have this on one screen and these main market profiles on one screen. What I'm planning to do today is really cover and explain certain things really around the prop firms as well. At the same time, let's just give it a look here. This is a range charts. I'm just looking at a 2-point range for ES and also 24 tick range just for Nasdaq to see how it's been moving. Gives me some kind of context to see if the market's basically going up and coming back into a certain number of points just to validate how it's moving. Is it just directional? Um, when you're scalping fast markets, thin markets like Nasdaq, you're looking at from which area to which area it moved, and if it moved directly like this without coming back into it, it just gives me a quick view of what's going on in a momentum basis. Is it really pure momentum, or it's really coming back into the range and kind of validating certain levels and coming and then moving? It's just a quick way to kind of see what the market's doing. If we're looking at the news, Financialjuice, once again, you all know that I use Financialjuice for the headlines. So far for today, it looks like it's pretty quiet. I mean, there's some auctions around the bonds, but nothing really serious. And if we look at the economic news, we're going to get some busier days with some news tomorrow and probably Wednesday. So if we go quickly here, back to my domes. I set.
German Prime Minister Baerbock's meeting with Ukraine President Zelensky is not taking place due to scheduling difficulties, according to a diplomatic source.
Okay, some news around the Russian diplomatic with Ukraine and all that. So that came in. And this is Tickstrike. As you all know, I use this for, it's kind of like a price squawk, but it's actually much more than a price squawk. It's really ideal when you want to look at correlations, what all the other stocks are doing. You can see I put the stocks right here so that it's very visual. And then I have the regular indices right here. Hopefully that's pretty neat in this matter. I think I can move them all this way so that, and I've got the Nasdaq tape, the 1 lots, the 10 plus lots for Nasdaq, and then you've got ES and the rest on the other side there. So here we've had a pretty balanced market. I just like to go in and mark my levels on directly on my dome. It's just that I put these too close here, so maybe I'm just gonna move them lower like this, maybe. Here we are. So I just put in overnight low. I just like to put my levels quickly on my dome so that I don't have to go back and see what and which area of the market we're in. So here we're looking at, once again, just the main pivots of the overnight. I tend to just look at, what is it? It's the overnight VPOC, where the market, had the most amount of volume, and then the low and the high, and then I could generally spot in previous day high and low. So I'm just going to go and do that. So yes, the previous day high was what? It was 32.50, and then the low was 42.50. So you could basically have this on your charts. It's just a quick way to put it here. When you go in Sierra charts, you're able to tag in under the show the values under or at the top of this up of your profile, and then you could put whatever you want. So it's maximum value, which means the high of day, and then you could put the minimum value, which was the low of day. You can arrange that in your Sierra charts. So I had a question around that, so I just wanted to validate that. Just jotting down the previous day high there, 32.50. 42.50 was the low, so 44, 42.50. Yeah, 44, 42.50. So I mean, if we do get to these levels, we're gonna have some decent ranges, right? The range in ES was really pretty interesting, from 44, 42 to 45, 34, almost like 100 points. It's like over 80 points there. So we've had some pretty decent volatility in the markets in the last few days. That's good. That's what we want, right? And I just have the MES DOM just to, in case I want to scalp some micros, I just put it there. For the recordings, it's just easier to have, my Tickstrike like this so that you guys are also able to see certain things. I'm actually going to have some extensive videos around a couple of trade setups that I use with Tickstrike to really validate momentum, and when, especially on this here, we've got, let's say, all the stocks kind of doing the same thing. If they all just turn red or green and it's very clear, that's pure momentum that you don't want to just have a sell order waiting, resting there. You want to kind of avoid trading in that kind of pure momentum. As you all know, I am funded with Apex. Just wanted to quickly show you guys something here, because what I'm planning to do here is really to cover how Apex works when it comes to their account review. I will also do the same thing for LEELOO. As you all know, I use both of them are really good prop firms for online. Their services are great. They really respond back to traders very quickly. And then I'm just gonna quickly show you guys, the details of. So this is the agreement here. When you trade with Apex, they basically want you to accept this agreement. And in this quick video here, I'm going to explain what and how this works. So you've got the main accounts that they have. If you're using the small accounts, which is the 4 lots, right? My opinion here is, if you can't trade with 1 to 2 lots, forget trying to trade with higher lots here. I think you need to really master having a good trade management to be able to really up your size in the future. And I think with the way this whole thing works is, you need to be able to make some profits to get paid out, because here at the bottom, I'm going to show you how these payouts work. So you have to have an initial balance, and then that's the minimum balance you need to keep for each account. So this is the Apex agreement. So once you've gone through one of your evaluations here, the ones that they have, either the small account or the higher lots here, you basically will get funded. It's called a performance account. They get you to sign the agreement. In the agreement, you have basically the different type of accounts. With, let's say, if we go with the 4 contracts here, you need to keep a minimum balance at the initial for the first withdrawal. So after 25 trading days, you need to have your account at 26,500 at least, because this account is a $25,000 account, and you're able to pay out. You can get a maximum payout of 1,500 to a minimum of 1,000, but the initial amount, the balance that you have to keep is 26,500. So that means you need to at least have $1,500 in the bank before you actually make any withdrawals. Okay, so this is Apex. Quickly gonna go exactly to the bottom of this agreement here. So actually, before I get to the bottom, I'm just gonna scroll over. You guys could have the various account sizes with the minimums. So these are basically the minimums and the payouts that you can get. Obviously, higher amounts sizes have higher payouts for the initial payouts. So I have been paid out with Apex. I have already done one withdrawal from my account, so they are legit. Don't don't hesitate to contact me if you need any information. So that was the last one, the static account, the 300K account. So this is all the Apex funded account agreement. So you basically have to agree and sign and give them your social security number to be able to get paid out as as a trader. So LEELOO has the same thing. Again, funded with LEELOO and Apex. They also have an agreement here where you have to sign and accept the conditions, and basically this goes through the rules, how how the account ownership works and all that. And then you just have to go scrolling through the payouts and pay the rules around that. So the account rules, once again, you need to make sure you pay your fee on a monthly basis, and they have all the explanations in the agreement. I'm just going to scroll through it quickly here. These are the fees that you pay through as a funded account here. Once again, make sure you select which type of account you have. Momentum, I'm looking at the big guys, the Apples, the Googles. They haven't really moved much here, and I think there's not huge momentum. So let's see. Yeah, we're gonna look at maybe a little long. Look how they're sweeping, right? It's really easy to get swept in these conditions because, obviously, I'm just looking at the volume. There's not like tremendous volume that's moving these markets, and look how they're absorbed. And then maybe let's see if we can get a long opportunity here. Okay, so let's get all the accounts ready. So a lot of volume built there. Definitely looks like a long. Let's see. We get a movement here. I think we're gonna get something out of this. Yeah. Nasdaq's moving higher. Let's just trail this. Come on, give it to us. Give it to us. $100 at least. There we are. Did you see how the momentum was so strong when it came to all the stocks moving in the same direction? You don't want to go short against that, right? So that's how it is. I just tend to, I'm telling you what I'm doing now. I tend to erase, what is it? It's called, what is it called here? The sweep here. I like to erase the current trade, the volume that's printed here. Once it's done, at least 8 to 10 ticks. I've been noticing, I've been looking at my recordings in the last maybe 2-3 months, and I've been noticing that ideally I need to erase or have my key for my keyboard to erase them, because this is a question that I had from certain traders, like how often do you clean up your current trades, and I think ideally every 8 to 10 ticks in ES you could just sweep it, and you can just do that. It's always like when you want new information. I'm seeing a Nasdaq that's moving lower here. We've already built some volume here, and then we're building some good volume here. And then what's good volume, right? Since the liquidity is a bit thinner, we've got like 30 to 40 on each bid and ask here. I think the best thing is to look for maybe 3 times that, right? If you were looking at the overall book here, the depth here, let's say the average is around 35-ish, right? So if you get over 100 in volume here, that's what I call good volume. I think this is good volume. You can go long, get some kind of a sweep, maybe not. And now we've got some momentum here. I need to find a way to scratch this here. I'm going to scratch it. And there we go. I got the scratch because there was volume that picked up here. I was going to just try to, avoid being swept lower with that. So it's adjusting to that volume, right? And then as soon as you see maybe, like I said, 3 times the values that you're seeing on the depth, I'd say that's good volume. Go with a long idea here. Get the entry, get the small, quick scalp, which I think is going to be a bit tough in this area here because of the fact that Nasdaq is also moving lower. But I'm still convinced that we're still in this same area where the market can basically give us a little push higher, and I'm going to go flat. It's quick momentum. I'm not noticing that the volume has been really decent every time it's been moving lower, so it's probably just, as they call them, retail that's moving these markets, right? Although we've got some, large lots that are coming in as well. It's all about adjusting. Not every day will be the same. Not every trade will be the same, but it's definitely some adjustments along the way in the last several days. I think we're gonna have to look for a short here. The fact that we got some absorption there, and I'm gonna go with a nice little move. Yeah, you see it's tough to get any kind of a decent move here on ES, especially if now there's building volume here. So I think we gotta look for a nice little long. Can I get it? Tough to have an entry there. Now Nasdaq started pushing lower. I canceled that quickly. Quickly looking at the momentum, the correlations. Nasdaq's moving higher. We've got some volume picking up here. Looking for a small little scalp, maybe not all that good there. Again, it's that 8 to 10 tick rotation that I'm constantly looking at on ES. We're close to the highs. We're not going to look for any short ideas here. I think we're kind of looking for it's a recipe for a smash through if you're looking for any kind of shorts here. I think we can still look for shorts. It's just that I don't think the momentum is all that good in both ways. So both direction. We've got some volume that printed here, so I'm gonna see if we can get some kind of a momentum here. But I think we're gonna have to go with a short quickly right here. A small little scalp. Give it to us. Doesn't want it. 1, 2, 3. I'm being very selective here. There we are. Come on. And there we are. $50 right there. Yeah, I mean, again, not super directional. I think we're playing both sides in very cautious manners. What do we have already? So quickly, trading the funded account on Apex here. A couple of good scalps, being very selective. Not being super aggressive in my entries. This is what the market looks like so far. Not convinced on any side, honestly. I would say both are kind of still very rotational here, but let's see. Okay, so now we just got the new highs. Tremendous move there. I couldn't really do anything on that. It was just very quick. Here is the range charts for what it's worth. We've got 10 minutes already into the open. I think the first 15 to 30 minutes here, we're going to find out what this market wants to do. It basically ran through some stops definitely here, and then pushing gradually higher. Let's see how we do. I mean, a couple of good scalps. I can't say I was very aggressive, but, trying to keep it clean. Maybe Nasdaq's been an easier market to trade here. I'm going to look at value here on Nasdaq. It looks like it's around the 78s. So we move from 78 to 75. Wow, we've got to push lower here. Pretty decent push, I could say. Look for a long. Get the long. Give us the move. There we are. $100 on Nasdaq. Definitely nice. So sometimes one market is easier than the other, so it's not obvious, eh? It's one of those things where sometimes you want to just trade one market, but there's one that's actually moving faster and actually giving you easier entries. So that was another beautiful scalp. Quickly here, it was just the open, and although that was a trades there, again, the funded account with Apex trading that, because today I wanted to really focus on these on the details of these funded accounts because I had a lot of questions. Again, earlier I went over Apex, you know, and then I also went over the agreement with LEELOO. You know, you have to accept these agreements to be able to trade with them in a funded account. If you look at it this way, I mean, a funded account, it costs you 88 bucks on a monthly basis. If with my regular broker, which is AMP, I have their regular CME monthly fees for like 33 bucks, I guess, and then you're paying, you know, eh, every round turn on your trades. I think at the end of the day, I mean, having several accounts where you're generating income from them, it's not a bad idea. I think I'm doing this because I really have helped a lot of traders with their trading in the last several weeks, and I think I need to really, you know, make this as realistic possible. As you can see here, I'm just basically scalping the shortest momentum, and this is all what I do all day long. Here I'm gonna go for a short here on Nasdaq, and I missed the entry, so I have to cancel that now. You see, the entry was very easy because you're looking at value on a quick basis, and we've got sellers coming in. I knew that the momentum was to the downside. You know, this is what I do all day long, and it's just basically making small scalps, small plays, not looking to, you know, exaggerate or looking to really make sure that, you know, my I don't know how you call it, my every win is this much or my loss is this much. I just basically know my entries, know what I want to look for on the tape, and at the end of the day, it's just all about really getting the correlations ready and understanding what's going on quickly here in the now, right? It's not about what happened yesterday. It's not about what's going to happen in the next several weeks or in the next several months. Trying to understand what where the market is going. It's not my job to do that. I think at the end of the day, markets are, you know, looking at fundamentals, news, interest rates. All these have impacts on the markets, but uh, in the short term, it's just about supply and demand, and it's about who's got, you know, who's hitting the bids, who's aggressive, where is volume building, and are we looking to go, you know, lower, or are we looking to go higher, right? And then the conditions, right? Look, they just swept through here, the buyers, and this is something that's been occurring in the last several days where it's really easy to look for a short and then get caught, and then they sweep higher and they basically, you know, squeeze out all the shorts there. This is something that's been occurring a lot, and here I'm just going to erase all the volume that builds up here. And again, if you're looking for a quick manner, a way to filter what's good value, look for,
UK
you know,
Defence Secretary Wallace on Ukraine says Poland and Britain are discussing what we could do to deter Russia.
okay, some headlines around Russia and Ukraine again. So, I mean, obviously the news is pretty light in the last several days. Again, look at this, 4501 to 4498. That's like what, 8 to 10 ticks here, right? We've got a nice little range, 8 to 10 tick range here. Are we looking to go short? Are we going to looking to go long? I'd say I would like to go short below the 98s, but they just squeezed the shorts here. I'm going to be a bit aggressive and try to see if I can get an entry. Maybe not. Look for another second entry, go for that. Gonna try to see if we can get, okay, we might have to scratch this one here. Let's see if we can get another play here. I'm gonna try to scratch that, move, and there. And here we are, we got the move in there. Although I scratched one, I'm just gonna go and put a stop quickly there because I think we're in a range here that's just playing it out, and I got caught
UK
putting
Defence
a
Secretary
order.
Wallace says we are discussing what we would do if Russia makes the foolish mistake of invading Ukraine.
Yeah, and I don't think Russia's going to invade Ukraine, so I don't think they're going to do that foolish thing, but you know, anything is possible. So I scratched that trade there quickly. Had to use another lot to kind of understand that we were in that range. It was a quick scalp. I have to say it wasn't the best trade entry, but you know, we've got a couple of good trades already here. All right, so we're looking at what? The high volume here. The 95 goes through, and then I think we can get some volume. I think we're going to have to look for a short right here. Nope, didn't. It was a bit too aggressive. I like it here, being short. I'm going to put a stop quickly there. It doesn't move in my direction. I'm going to have to scalp it, and I think we're going to have to scratch this quickly. Yeah, there we are. Scratch that. Because Nasdaq was moving lower, and I thought that we can get a push lower a bit, under, what was it, the 95s here, which was, I mean, obviously probably not the best trade entry because it was a VPOC. And here we got a quick scalp of 50 bucks that we can go get. There we are. So we just made the loss that we did there. I mean, very clear how the momentum was had shifted there because Nasdaq had just made a huge move lower, and I saw the the lots coming in. So I'm looking at the tape here, and we've got some big sellers that got most likely either trapped here. Let's see if they're gonna be able to push this lower, because the 92s, it looks like they got trapped big time here. They did not get rewarded. However, the market's coming back into it, so I'm not going to look for a long. That would be, and again, I think they're really aggressively absorbing here at the 92s. Let's see. This could be a great area to really, let's see. But I think the fact that they're going in a couple of times, it's a bit too much here. So let's see. I don't really have some clear momentum moving here, but I think we can get something here. A quick move that could definitely help. Come on, push through, push through. No, we're not going to get it. We're going to get scrapped here. I'm going to have to scalp this.
UK Defence Secretary Wallace says we will send a further 350 troops to Poland to show that we can work together.
Okay, if we get move here, okay, we're going to probably get a nice little move. All right, that was a nice move here. Looking at the 92s, if they get through here, we can get a huge squeeze in these markets. Come on. Come on, give it to me. I'm going to be aggressive. Need to be aggressive. Move it. Come on. Am I being too... Okay, here we are. Nice. I'm going to put that here. I think it's a bit too late. Need to push above the 95s or else we're not going to get it. More volume. Here we are. Would love to get the 97s. Maybe here. 97.50s. 95s here. VPOC. Hopefully they don't come back into the VPOC here, which I think they will. Who cares? Decent move there. There you are. That was how you scalp it so far. Doing a good job in really reading what's going on, looking at the correlations. I erased as you see here, I just erased by error all the volume that gave me basically the bid and ask volume there. That's by hitting here the total trades. I erased the total trades by error. That's not something I do on ES. I generally just hit the sweep so that, but on Nasdaq I don't really care about that because it's all about momentum. And now definitely not looking for a short, guys. This is just terrible short idea if ever you're looking for this. This is why I wanted to really use something that gives me quick correlations like this here. Look at all these Nasdaq beauties. Basically, I call them beauties because they're like the top 10 of Nasdaq. And if these guys are pushing with momentum, forget it. Don't even look for any kind of shorts. Nasdaq's really aggressive. Look at that. It's been really the delta's been very high, and even on Tickstrike we've got higher amounts printing on Nasdaq here. So we've got already a couple of good trades. Look at that. I can't say for the first 30 minutes we've been doing this really well. I mean, I've been doing this really well. I think at the end of the day, it's all about understanding what the market's wanting to do.
To shore up natural gas supply in Europe.
I'm gonna call it. I'm just gonna probably end the video here for this sequence. I will post this on YouTube. This is February 7th, 2022. Hopefully this was
Secretary of State Blinken
good.
is currently speaking at the EU-US Energy Ministerial.
Again, I'm not perfect. I do have bad trades. I could make stupid trades as well. We're all human. We, it's easy to make, quick assessments on someone's trading style or whatever. But at the end of the day, I want to keep this pretty real. Not planning to show you guys how I do $10,000 a day, or I don't know how much amount of profit per day. That's total nonsense. I think you need to really have a realistic approach to these markets. Here, these conditions that are changing constantly. Just 2 months ago, we did not even have this kind of depth in the ES. Look at how thin this market has become. If when ES is thin like this, it's going to be a bit harder to trade Nasdaq, I would say, because the thinness of Nasdaq shifting like that will definitely affect the correlations as well. Look at how we're printing value at the 85 of that. Again, that's a main pivot that I was watching today. Quickly in the markets, this is what we've got. 4506. If we can't really cover above that, I think we're gonna have to 770. So Nasdaq is above the pivot that I was looking at, the 14770. Um, Coming back into it could definitely mean some weakness. Let's see. I kind of tend to see some weakness here in the market. So let's see if we can get anything rolling